Accepting a trip paid for by my husband to forgive his infidelity when I have no intention of forgiving him and getting a divorce. My husband confessed to me that he was unfaithful to me. It was only once, and the guilt was killing him. It was with a coworker. He told me that he would do anything to get me to forgive him and move on, quit his job, or ask for a change of branch. Go to marriage therapy, let me have access to all his devices. I asked for a divorce, and he doesn't accept it. As a desperate act, he told me that he bought 2 tickets to go on a trip. According to him, it is so that we can spend time together and rethink our marriage. If it doesn't work, he will accept the divorce. I accepted because I want to go on a trip. Due to a problem a few months ago, I ran out of money and couldn't take a trip that I wanted with my family. But I think this is where I can be the AITA. It's that I'm really only accepting to be able to travel. I really don't plan to forgive him for the infidelity.
Accidentally ruining a highly anticipated wedding through a compliment? I, 17F, have been staying at my uncle's house for a few weeks now. He is a handicapped man who lost both his legs to a car accident 5 years ago. Being a wheelchair user, he always believed that he would never get married or have a love life because of his age and physical limitations. However, he is a very hilarious man with an entertaining personality, and almost all our relatives love him, and we all wanted him to find love. After a lot of matchmaking, he finally started dating a girl a year ago. They decided to get married on September 25th, 2024. A week ago, I came across an Instagram post of my friend, and in that pic, I saw my uncle's girlfriend chilling in the background. What I didn't notice was a guy standing next to her. She was wearing a beautiful dress, so I sent that pic to my uncle, appreciating his girl's beauty. Turns out that the guy I ignored was her ex. There arose some conflicts, and he called off the marriage. She may or may not have cheated on him. They didn't clarify anything. All my relatives are outraged after realizing that I was the main reason for this. They told me that I should have shown something like this to proper adults instead of ruining a long-awaited marriage. I tried telling them that I didn't expect it to turn out like this, but they all keep on insulting me for being a family ruiner. My uncle said that we should not try matchmaking in his case again, and that he is not interested in anything anymore. My senseless action led to all this mess. I feel very guilty.
Accidentally seeing my neighbor naked. So, I recently moved into a new neighborhood, and I've been trying to be that friendly, helpful neighbor. You know, the one who offers to bring in the post or roll the bins back up the driveway. Well, yesterday, I decided to do just that for my neighbor Sarah, who had left her bins out even though it wasn't bin day. Being the eager new guy, I thought it would be a nice gesture to bring the bins back up to her house. So, I walk over, grab the bins, and start rolling them up her driveway. When I get closer, I notice her front door is slightly open. Thinking I should let her know, I called out, "Hey Sarah, your door's open." No response. So, like the nosy idiot I am, I took a few steps closer to see if everything was all right. And that's when I saw her. Sarah walking down her hallway, completely naked, clearly having just stepped out of the shower. We locked eyes, and both of us froze. I'm standing there like an idiot holding her bin, while she's standing there like, well, not exactly how you'd want your new neighbor to see you. Instead of just walking away, I panicked and blurted out, "Sorry, I was just helping with the bins." She screamed. I panicked even more, and in my desperation to escape the situation, I managed to trip over her bin, sending it and myself sprawling across her driveway. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion, except the car was me, and I was crashing into my own dignity. Somehow, I managed to scramble to my feet and do the fastest speed walk back to my house ever recorded. I didn't dare look back, but I'm pretty sure I heard her door slam behind me. I spent the rest of the day avoiding my windows like the plague, too embarrassed to even peek outside in case I accidentally made eye contact with her again. I don't think I'll be offering to help with the bins anymore.
Accidentally spilling hot water over the lower half of my body. So recently, I had a runny nose which was lasting for a while and not going away. My parents recommended I boil water and try to take the steam from it as it should clear my nose. It made sense to me. I boiled water in a kettle and poured it into this mini pot, put it on a table, and put my face over it. The issue was the steam wasn't really going in my nose directly, so I decided to put a towel over my head to cover the flow of steam, which means the towel was covering the mini pot. At this point, I am sitting on a chair with my head over the pot and a towel over my head. It was working fine. The steam was clearing my nose. Then all of a sudden, someone called my name and I looked up. As I looked up, the towel got caught under the handle of the pan and it spilled all over my legs and stomach. It was scorching hot and I started screaming while jumping up, rushing to take my clothes off. I literally took everything off in the kitchen and told everyone to not come there as I was butt naked in my kitchen with burns all over my legs, lower stomach, and private parts. I tried to put aloe vera gel and some other shit over it, but it kills. Might go to the hospital, IDK.
Accidentally telling a friend to spread her legs and let me in. Simple story, context, 21-year-old man. Some friends and I were renting an Airbnb, and it was the last day before leaving. I was sweeping the kitchen and my friend was leaning against the wall. I reached the spot she was standing at, and I didn't want to make her move since I literally was just going to quickly do one sweep and move on. Not wanting her to move, I said, "Spread your legs. I need to get in." In my mind, I was just asking her to quickly spread her legs, widen her stance so I can sweep there and then leave, but I suppose that wasn't communicated fully in my statement. She goes, "Whoa!" and then starts bursting out laughing. I'm confused. She laughs like a madman, stammers away, making her way to the group where she repeats what was said, and the entire group burst out laughing at me. It's then I realize how what I said could be taken in a different way. I just continue my sweeping as everyone laughs.
Accidentally buying games in the night. So recently, I've been using a macro to do some farming on games on my Xbox, since I don't have much time to play during the day. This morning, I wake up and start swiping through my notifications. I open it up for more details and see that it's for several games totaling just over 200 pounds, and they were made at 3 a.m. My first thoughts are, either my cousin decides to treat himself, or someone hacked my account. Both of these motions were dismissed when I went to check on my Xbox, which was mid-download. I noticed some weird behaviors though, as the screen would just cycle between buttons, clicking and then back to circling, which made me realize the macro was still running. Somehow, the macro had escaped my game and gone to the store to treat itself to a few games in the night. Immediately, I'm a little annoyed as that was the remainder of my paycheck, and I have about 15 minutes before my bus leaves for work, so I can't deal with it. When I got back home, I luckily found the refunds page on Microsoft and got them all refunded, as well as putting a lock on the item store so that no games can be purchased without me in the future. TL Doctor. My nightly macro decided to treat itself to some games using my bill money.
Agreeing to divorce my wife when she joked about it. Yesterday, me and my wife were just chilling and watching TV. My wife all of a sudden said that she wants a divorce and started laughing hysterically. She was quite drunk. She drinks, I do not. I was shocked when she suddenly asked me for divorce. I have been with her for past 6 years. All this time we spent together, but she never ever asked me something so absurd. I got angry and said, sure, doors that way, send me papers, but make it fair. She stopped laughing and got sad. I am used to her sarcastic questions about it. I would do something like this or that for her, or absurd like if I would jump off the hill for her, etc., but I never saw this coming my way. But she this time got sad and angry and became serious and asked me, am I for real? I said, sure I am. You want to leave me, then leave. I can't stop you, or do you want me to physically stop you? She got very angry and started crying and said that I wouldn't even fight even a little to save our marriage and just agree to divorce without reacting. She asked me, have I stopped loving her? I told her I love her, but if you want to leave me, I won't stop you or beg you. My wife got very angry and slapped my chest and said, bad husband. I tried to stop her and ask her to talk to me, but she didn't listen to me. She's been ignoring me since yesterday. Today I went to talk to her and she said that I need to become a better man and husband and fight for my wife instead of just agreeing to divorce like a heartless pig. And until I work on myself, she will not talk to me, and she's been ignoring me. She gave me food, sat next to me, but whenever I tried to talk to her, she didn't reply.
Asking someone to stop coming to my house when no one is home. My wife gave a friend a key to our house as a backup in case we lost our keys or got locked out somehow. I've come home a couple times and found the friend at my house. The friend was not invited and did not tell anyone that she would be there. The first time she dropped off some baked goods for my wife who is pregnant. My wife has developed a sweet tooth, so I appreciated the gift, but thought it was weird that the friend didn't ask to stop by. Last week I came home early from work and the friend was at my house eating leftovers from a dinner out that my wife and I had. I asked the friend why she was at my house and she said she just swung by and found the food in the fridge. This made me uncomfortable. I told my wife's friend not to come to our house anymore without letting us know beforehand. The friend was insulted by this request, and mutual friends have told me that I am being unreasonable and rude.
Becoming indifferent towards my wife after discovering her affair. My wife and I have been together for 8 years, 5 of them married. I thought we were the kind of couple that could tell each other any problem. I loved her deeply and always believed she felt the same way about me. Like many couples, we had our ups and downs, but I never thought it could lead to infidelity. 4 months ago, I started noticing changes in her behavior. She was more distant, always glued to the phone and avoiding our conversations. You know the typical thing about a cheating person. Well, one day, I came across a message on her phone that confirmed what I feared the most. She was seeing someone else, but instead of confronting her right away, I decided to wait. My main reason was to protect myself in a possible divorce. I spent the next 2 months gathering messages, photos, and anything else I could use if things got legally difficult. I showed her everything I knew, and although she tried to deny it at first, she finally admitted that she had been having an affair. She said it was a mistake, that she still loved me, and that she wanted to work things out, but by then, I didn't feel anything anymore. I simply told her that it was okay, that we could get a divorce, and that we could each move on with our lives. My lack of emotion baffled her. She said my indifference was cold and cruel, and that if I had truly loved her, I should have fought to save our marriage, which was ironic coming from her.
Being too much time in the bidet. I woke up early in the morning and first thing I did was to go to the bathroom to take a dump. As I usually do, after shitting I stood up and went to the bidet next to the toilet. I opened the faucet as usual and let the water run up through my ass. However, I had the habit to simply relax this way, feeling the cold water, while I scrolled through YouTube's stories. After about 5 minutes, I felt like one of my balls' hair was being pulled. A very sharp and acute pain in a single spot of my right ball. In the first seconds, I thought it was literally it, that somehow my hair was pulled by accident. However, the pain continued and started to intensify and spread. I urgently stood up from the bidet. My ass still wet, but I wanted to see if there was anything on my balls. There was nothing visible, especially because of the hair covering the skin. However, as I looked down to my legs, I saw a creature crawling in my inner tight of the left leg. My balls began to hurt even more and I started moaning in pain. My wife, that was sleeping until then, ran to the bathroom asking what happened. I said that a centipede stung my ball. We looked for it in the bathroom and after a few minutes I lift the rug and we found it there, hiding. My balls began swelling and became red, the venom spreading through its surface. After some hours, we decided that I should go to the hospital to have the doctor see my balls.
Calling my husband's mistress fat and old, I, 44F, have been so emotional for several weeks, I can't trust my own judgment. Starting around Christmas 2023, I noticed a change in my husband Justin. He's usually an affectionate and sexual person, but our sex life went downhill. The summer of 2023 was when our son Randall, 19 months, moved out to university. With Justin and I alone in the house, we were having sex almost every day before the dip. Other suspicious things started happening. He's going out without me more, woman's perfume on his changes, being more secretive with his devices, ecti. Early September, I managed to get in his laptop while he was asleep. I was expecting to find evidence of an affair, and I had a picture in my head of what the woman would look like. I found a mountain of evidence. There were nude selfies of her, videos of her masturbating, message exchanged, etc. She didn't look like what I was expecting. She looked at least 50 and at least 200 pounds. My husband is very fit, and so am I. I? He is Hollywood handsome, so I was expecting like some thin 27-year-old woman. I sent as much evidence to my email and socials as I can. I showed my sister Betty, 47F, the evidence. I was so emotional that I was insensitive with my words, especially since my sister has a weight problem. I called my husband's mistress a fat old salty. Betty said I shouldn't be talking about another woman like that. I was so enraged, and I asked Betty how could she defend the woman who's fucking my husband. Betty said it's no excuse to body shame. I just started crying, and Betty hugged me.
Calling my sister a lazy leech after she demanded I babysit her kids every single weekend? I have a full-time job that requires me to work long hours. Plus, I have my own life and social commitments. My sister has 3 kids who are adorable, but let's be real, a handful. Ever since she had the 3rd kid, she's concluded that I should step up and be her personal babysitter every weekend so she can have a break and go out with her friends. Now, I love my niece and nephews, but I shouldn't have to sacrifice my entire weekend just because she can't manage her own parenting responsibilities. Last week, after yet another weekend spent babysitting while she was out partying, I finally snapped. I told her that I felt like a lazy leech for relying on me to do her parenting for her and that she needs to find a proper solution rather than just dumping her kids on me. She flipped out and called me selfish and said I clearly don't care about family. I told her she was being entitled and that I have a right to my own time too. Now she's gone and told the whole family I'm the jerk, and everyone keeps texting me saying I should help her out more.